Let's talk about it.
Being a woman has its advantages, but it's not an easy ride. Balancing careers, relationships, motherhood, family, and life can be quite the challenge. Sometimes you have to be a lady, and sometimes you gotta be a broad. Welcome to the Two Broads From Boca, the place where we talk about all the things you think about but don't say out loud.
Hey everybody,
Hello.
It's Monday. We are back and we are hoping that we have no internet issues this week. So we just want to welcome you back from all your lovely Mother's Day festivities.
We
Blake,
came
you
in
gotta
a
put
canoe
us-
tonight. We
did.
paddled here.
What is with Florida and the monsoon? This is why my hair looks the way it does.
Yeah,
It's just
it's
big.
not good for
Blake,
the hair.
you got to put us on the iPad so we can see what's going on.
The hair situation.
It's very bad. You have no idea. It is not raining here. It is like the China monsoons.
Yes.
It's bad. Like literally, I needed.
No, I was picking up my daughter from school, and they're like, "You're gonna need an umbrella for the next 7 days." And I looked at my daughter. I said, "Did she say 7 days or 7 hours?"
So get an umbrella. You need an ark. Thank God I'm married to a Noah. That's all I'm saying. It's bad. It's bad. I'm not kidding. It's not, it's really, really bad. It's very hot in
and
here,
you know what
too.
I gotta
It's muggy.
say?
Mosquito weather. This is mosquito weather.
The mood,
Zika.
though. The mood. I'm a sunshine girl,
Yeah, I
born
know,
and
very
raised in
bad.
Florida. I
Very
need
bad.
my sunshine. It affects my mood. The rain by the end of 7 days.
I don't know how the people live in Seattle.
I'm gonna be
Very
out
bad.
of my mind.
I know. Hi, Eric. No, I don't. Personally, I am not happy. It's like having your period the entire week for like the whole month of May.
Terrible.
It's not funny. We usually get rainy season in June, but it's early this year.
No, it's very early.
I don't care for it. I'm not happy. My hair is a mess. I feel like I'm a big soggy person.
Yes.
So
Soggy
how was your
wet mess.
Mother's Day?
Because of the weather.
Sucked. No,
It was
good.
terrible.
I know you couldn't do anything.
No, because I love the beach. I love boating. That was our whole plan, and that went out the window. But
the
I will
window.
say this:
Look at that hair.
because I was so lazy, it was relaxing.
I know.
Like it gave me a reason to not do anything
I
and
enjoyed-
not feel guilty
Me
about
too,
it.
and I did not feel
because
guilty.
it was pouring out.
I will tell you, I got up yesterday morning. I made myself a cup of coffee. I watched the Mary Tyler Moore marathon for a couple of hours I swear to God, on Sundance Channel. Got up, went into Skin Appeal, and thank you, Skin Appeal. You are wonderful. Got a massage and a reflexology with the hot stone and everything. Came home, made myself lunch, sat back down, read and watched television for background noise. Was taken to dinner, and then came home and watched Pretty in Pink. It was a fabulous day. I felt no
Pretty
guilt.
in Pink.
You know Andrew McCarthy. I was so excited. He looks at me in that movie. I know he knows that I'm watching. I love him. I you know I do. That anybody wants. My birthday's in September.
That
if you know
whole
Andrew.
80s era with Breakfast
Gorgeous.
Club, Pretty in Pink,
St. Elmo's Fire.
St. Elmo's Fire.
16 Candles, all that stuff. But I
Fabulous.
enjoyed it. I was very happy. I was thrilled. I was very thrilled. Yesterday it was a day I literally did nothing.
Yes,
And it was nice. I earned it.
because Peter
Today,
was
on
all
the other
Peter was
hand-
all worried when the boat. No, why are we canceling? I said it says 100%. I mean,
Yeah,
we have the
who
worst
wants to be on
weathermen
that?
on the
No,
planet.
they make it up. They're not even good. They
but
make
when
it
I
up.
saw 100%, I was like, they never say 100%. They usually say 40 or 60, and that covers them.
I'm
But
thinking
100,
that this is the beginning of a hurricane or a tropical depression.
well, it is. That's what's coming
That's what
over
I'm
on the
saying.
West Coast.
It's not very nice.
But anyways, it's
Yes,
a
let's
pressure of men to feel like they have to do something. And
Please, just leave us alone. That's all we
I left
want.
the pressure off yesterday. I said, whatever.
That's-
We'll do it.
Yeah, it was good. It was good though. I enjoyed that. So I have to tell. We were talking pre-air because we do that. We talk all the time, but pre-air we bring up subjects. And tomorrow is a big day for me. I am going to. No, I think it's important because those
More of a
of you.
JJ talk.
It's a VJJ moment. For those of you who are of a certain age and have surpassed a certain part of your life, sometimes the VJJ does not cooperate with what the VJJ needs to do. So the VJJ either can be a little dry, not in my case, or it could be a little problem having relations with your mate
Relations.
because it is sex with your mate
Relations.
because it's a little painful. So I am having a little painful situation, so I'm going tomorrow to have the Mona Lisa procedure at 1 o'clock with Dr. Stern to unpain my situation and see what happens. Hopefully, I'll be here next week to tell you. I don't know any of the details, like when I can have sex again after this, but I'm assuming it could be soon. It can't be that bad.
These lasers are amazing, I gotta say. The lasers
little
are amazing.
Aquaphor, that's all I have to do.
16 candles. Yes, Molly. Thank you. That was the one I was thinking
I don't
of.
know, but I enjoyed 16 candles, but I enjoyed Pretty in Pink
please,
more.
when she comes out of the church and he's waiting there by that Porsche. I mean,
yeah, but when at the prom, when he says, I love you. Oh, please. That would get the JJ going. I think that's nice. I thought that was, and I love Andrew McCarthy. So whatever knows,
is going to be in
my JJ is very
order.
busy.
It's going to be like brand new.
So yes, that's what I'm excited
Lucky
about.
Noah.
It's going to be like yes. And he's 8 years younger than I am, so I have.
Actually, wait, you're not going to make it. I was going to say Father's Day's June, but if you have to have it 3
No, but they say after the first time you could be good to go.
So Father's Day, Father's Day present,
Father's
Noah.
Day, we're gonna have a good time. But this weekend, May 19th, the big wedding is on, peeps.
Yeah, I thought I missed it.
No, I know you're so out of the loop. The big wedding is on. Harry and Meghan are getting married. It starts.
I want to DVR it, so when do I have to do it?
Coverage starts at 5:30 a.m. Saturday, 5:30 a.m. It starts on E Network. So we're pushing the E Network here, so you have to record it. So that is very important to me. So, and honestly, any of you have JJ issues and you want it, message us. I will be more than happy to
Amy.
Message us.
My JJ is good. So.
Or you can get us at twobroadsfromboca@gmail.com. And I will answer any of your questions, and all things will obviously be held confidential.
Blake, do you think you can eat that a little more quieter?
Yeah, Blake likes to eat.
Blake's shoving his hand
in somebody's
bag, and I'm looking over in his cheeks like
a chipmunk. He's very cute. Our Blakey is very, very cute. So everything else is good? You enjoyed your children on Mother's Day?
Actually, I will say it's the only day of the year that my children are nice to me.
They were nice. I gotta say, they were like
because they recognize it and they feel like I shouldn't say shut up or be a little bit.
Saturday morning, I wake up, I go take a shower, get the day going. Do my routine. So I go put deodorant on. I raise my hand. I have this huge hematoma here. No, look at this thing. Look.
I can't see it.
Look at that. What is that from? I don't know.
No, it bit you.
That's what I said. What were you doing? And then I had a red thing the size of a $50. Not raised, flat, not itchy, not painful. So naturally, the first thing I think is, okay, I have cancer. I have lupus. I have this spleen thing.
Stop.
So I put hydrocortisone cream underneath my armpit. I'm waiting to get into the dermatologist. I mean, I'm not a hairy girl. I shave like literally once every month, maybe. Not even then. I have no hair. No hair at all. Like, it's a shame. I have the perfect for JJ.
That's perfect.
It's like perfect. I don't have to do any landscaping down there. So way too much for you to know, Blake, but that's okay. This is what happens when it's part of the job. So when I saw this, I was like literally freaking out. And it's fading now with the hydrocortisone cream, but I don't know what it's from. So like I'm like all freaked out.
You work in a hospital.
I know, but I don't. You gotta get
Can't
a
you
dermatologist.
say, hey.
No, but you gotta get a dermatologist because they're like,
check
I
this
don't
out.
know. This could be lupus. It could be. I don't need to hear that. I need to go to.
Why would it be lupus?
Lupus comes out sometimes in a rash. Usually on your face, but sometimes you can get a rash. It's an autoimmune thing. So yeah, I freak out. So yeah, that was good. Never good being a nurse. So tonight we have a very interesting guest. And I became acquainted with her through a friend of mine, Eric. And she is quite the ladies' lady. I enjoy her frankness. She is a blogger. Her name of her blog is Silver Unpolished. It's Rachel, is it Cohen Silver or Silver Cohen?
Silver Cohen.
It's Rachel Silver Cohen, and she is a mom of 2 lovely boys, but she's a working mom, and she's a divorced mom, and she writes about a lot of good stuff. So we're going to come back after the break, and Rachel will be here. We're going to talk about how she got started and a little bit about her. So, and I like Say Anything too, Molly, because I like John Cusack.
When he holds up the radio.
Love it. Oh, God.
And that's one of my favorite
Did
songs.
you ever see the movie Serendipity with him in it?
Yes.
Oh,
yes.
my God,
I
a
forget
killer.
the girl's name in that.
Okay, I don't remember her name.
Yes.
Yes, there you go. I was right.
Yes.
And oh my God, a very good movie. Very, very good. I suggest you see Serendipity. Breaks your heart. You got to see it. It's an amazing thing.
Yeah,
Every
it's
girl
sad.
wants that, isn't it good? But it's not sad because they finally get together. You got to watch it. It's really good.
I went to see Overboard last night.
I can't watch that. I liked the Goldie Hawn one.
Don't see it.
I won't see it. I won't waste my money. But
The original was
so good.
Fantastic.
I know.
This one,
I don't like
I mean, it
all
was
that.
cute.
I don't like cute,
but it
I wanna
doesn't
be-
even
no, I don't
compare.
like- You know what else I'm going to see this weekend? Because my girlfriend's coming into town. I'm going to see Sunday at the book club. It's about that 50 Shades of Grey and those women.
Oh yeah,
and
that
I
looks
happen
good
to
with
like
Diane Keaton,
and
right?
Candace Bergen,
Yeah.
Jane
That's
Fonda,
good.
and Mary Steenburgen. So I'm going to see that at iPick. I'm meeting her, and I'm so excited.
Okay.
All right, so we'll be back in like 2.
Hey, the two broads from Boca are taking a short break. We hope you're enjoying the show. You can find them here live on Facebook every Monday night at 7 p.m. And if you can't watch, you can hear the two broads on SoundCloud.com. You can also follow the two broads from Boca on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter. Want to talk about a topic? Leave the two broads your comments on their Facebook page or contact them at 2TWO broadsfromboca@gmail.com. Let's rejoin the two broads from Boca and let's talk about it.
Hey, we're back, and here we are. It's Rachel and Lorianne and Amy. We're all here, and I didn't say that. I never introduced us tonight. For those of you who are just watching, I'm Dr. Amy Schreibman, and this is my lovely co-host.
Lorianne.
Yes, so we're back. And yes, I always forget to do that, and I forget to tell you, I'm going to get that out of the way. Our social media is Facebook, obviously, Two Broads from Boca. You can also get us on Instagram and Twitter, and you need to move a little bit more close to
I
this
know,
way.
I'm not
Yeah,
even like
you're not
in
even-
the
You're not in the
media.
frame.
There you
You're
go.
not
I'm
in
gonna
the
be sitting in
frame.
your
No,
lap,
that's
Lorianne.
all right. We get
No,
kind of
we get very close.
intimate.
Okay.
We do. We like to touch each other
I
under
do
the
like
table.
It's all right. I like
So
it.
this is Rachel Silver Cohen, and I am very excited to have you here.
Do we have to talk? Do we have to whisper? Or
No,
can we talk
no.
like
Talk
regular
regular.
people?
Yeah, regular.
Okay, because I'm very loud.
What I would
problem.
like to know from you, first of all, is how long have you been writing your blog?
I have been writing my blog. Well, I mean, I've been writing forever, honestly, since I'm a little girl, journaling and kind of taking notes about things and whatnot. But the blog itself is about 5 years old, I would say. I'm 45-ish, and I started right around my 40th birthday.
Okay.
A little bit before. My
Okay,
life
cool.
was just chaotic and
And they
hectic.
share the same birthday,
Yes,
by
we
the
have
way.
the two Virgos,
Right.
September 14th,
Virgos.
except I'm 1962 and she's not.
And she's not.
Exactly. Exactly. You're Chevy Chase. And
Exactly.
no, so I started the blog. Really, it was not a conscious thought. It was a way for me to kind of just express myself, put my thoughts that were going on in my head on paper or on the computer, for that matter.
It's called silverunpolished.com if you want to
Right.
check it out, by the way.
www.silverunpolished.com.
And it's actually excellently written.
Mhm.
It's entertaining, but it's very frank. And I love that.
It's frank.
I love the
I'm a
honesty of
big
it.
like grammar Nazi. I care about explaining myself, but also making sure that it's eloquently written.
And it is.
That
So
drives
I
me
appreciate
nuts.
that. You
No,
know,
it
people
really
who
is.
say your and
Oh,
apostrophe
God, that
yours.
drives me
it's just-
crazy.
I
It
can't.
drives
No,
me.
right?
No, it's really
Crazy.
well written. But you don't just talk about being a mom. You don't talk about
But she doesn't fluff it.
no. It's like
I'm
very
talking about
honest.
being me.
Right.
And part of being me is being a mom.
Right.
Right.
But I don't identify with the moms who that's who they are and that's their only column. I think we're all really multi-dimensional, right?
I agree.
And I think, some of us work, some of us don't, some of us have children, some of us don't. But it's not just one column, one lane. We don't live like that,
Right.
right? We're not just flat people.
Unfortunately, you can't stay in your lane. It
No,
just
well, I
doesn't.
can't just because I'm all over the
Right.
place and being a Virgo and whatnot. It would be
Anal
impossible
retention.
even if I tried.
Agreed.
But so the mom thing, yes, I'm a mom. I love my kids. I
Right,
would
but
do
you
anything
talk
for
about what it's like being a woman and
But
being.
you can talk about other things.
Right.
Yes,
Yeah,
of
and I
course.
love that, and I
Yes.
love that because we are, like you said, we are more than just a mother, and oftentimes I am a bad mother.
Yes,
In
well,
my- for
most
my
of
own-
the time I'm a
Me
bad
too.
mom. I don't mean to be. It's just
No, but I love the one
Right.
that you wrote that you curse and you yell at your kids and you don't apologize for that because that's what you needed to do to get through that day.
Yeah.
You know,
Right.
and that's okay.
No, I do curse my kids, and they curse too,
Mine
and I'm
too.
okay with that.
Me too.
I tell them all the time, are we allowed to curse now? Are we like? I'll say like, shit, fuck, whatever.
Right.
Those words, if the shoe fits and that's what you need to say to express
Exactly.
yourself, that's fine.
Right.
You still need to
In
be
the house.
respectful. You can't
Right.
do that in school.
Right.
Yeah.
But
Respect
it is a
authority
way
and
to
things,
get your
right.
emotions out, and I don't apologize for that.
No.
And I know with our children, they are the product of their environment. So I have to take it if some people are a little bit more conservative and they don't appreciate it. But I feel like I'm also teaching my kids to be frank and be direct and say how they feel, as long as they know that there's a time and a place for
do that, right.
What I think that's refreshing, because I read a lot of mommy blogs, and I feel after I read them that either I want to hang myself or I'm inadequate.
Okay.
And no.
Okay. What I want to say to that, though, and with all due respect to the mommy bloggers out there, I try so hard not to categorize myself that way, because that's not what I
No,
am.
you're not.
I feel
No,
like
no,
I'm
no.
just
God, you
a
wanna get that right.
lifestyle and blogger even too. Like, I'm not even sure what that word is and who made that
Exactly.
up, and that's maybe like the word you use in, you know, the
Just
21st
right.
century. But I just write to write.
Right.
And I write about, yes, if there's some things that are about being a parent, but it's really just more about
Life.
day-to-day
Right,
life,
life.
and what happens.
Well, it's
and
therapeutic
it's
to
quirky
write.
stuff too. There's things that, you know, that you're talking to your girlfriends or your guy friends about. And people
Exactly.
say to me all the time, oh, that's a blog. You need to write about blah, blah, blah,
Exactly.
whatever it may be. And it could be, you know, some of this is not life-changing world topics. You're not going to see, you know, nighttime news talking about silver on polish.
No, I get it.
But sometimes it's very cathartic to be able to express yourself
That's
and
what I was
say
saying.
the
It's
things
therapeutic.
that other
Everybody
people
else is
probably
thinking.
wouldn't.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Well,
And
we
I'll
have
take it.
that. We have that issue with this show.
Okay.
Okay, we don't want to just say we're focusing on women who have children,
No,
women
'cause
who
we're
are
not.
married. We want to focus on everyone. People who are just dating, people who are just having booty calls, people who have kids,
Plan.
people who don't have kids but are in a serious relation, people who are a stepmom to in a relationship.
Yeah,
they
I
don't
mean,
have kids, but they're now a
It's just,
stepmom.
it's shit that a woman goes through every day.
There's so many areas to cover, and we don't want to be just
One track.
that one dimension.
track. We want to cover
Right.
everything, and we try to educate and
You
talk
often
about it all.
write about things that can cause controversy.
I do. Come on, give it to me, Amy.
No, I'm trying to. I see. I embrace that shit.
Okay.
I do, because I don't care
I
about
love
my
it.
JJ. I talk about it all the time. I talk about sex. I talk about people who annoy me. You know, I talk about how I hate my kids sometimes, and I love that you do that too, because
I
it
do.
makes me feel.
I do. I mean, my topics are that's annoying,
Right.
and I'll have a whole list of things that are just painfully annoying.
But I don't. What my bone of contention is that I think it's bullshit when you write about something that somebody takes personally, when it is really.
Universal.
It's a broad
a very
spectrum.
broad
Yeah,
right.
but I think that, you know, to any of these points, whether it's about things I think are annoying, whether it's about people I think are doing things that kind of go against the grain and they act one way and they pretend that they're not,
Right.
you know, if I call them out on it, I'm not making up the topic. These things exist.
Right.
Just
Exactly.
no one is willing to say, you know what? If
Yeah.
you walk like a duck and you talk like a duck,
You're
the
a duck.
chances of you being a duck are kind of high.
But your hooves
Pretty
is
good.
horses.
And I'm willing to say that. I'm not looking to out any person or group or
No, I don't.
you know,
That's the whole thing. I don't think being honest necessarily is congruent with being mean.
it's not, but
Mean,
most people
right.
though, most people are so
Defen-
dishonest
and
No, I mean,
defensive.
their regular lifestyle is being defensive or hiding or pretending that they're someone that they're not.
Right.
So if someone goes
Raises-
against that and now all of a sudden they're just putting their stuff out there is shock value to that. Now, I'll be honest, I get off on some of that shock
course,
value because
yeah.
that's fun. You want to stir the pot a little bit.
Yes.
It's not to hurt people. I think it's really just to evoke, and I say this in my blog, in my bio, to evoke emotion from other people.
Right.
Because no one else is doing it. Everyone's napping all day
Right.
long. So why not throw something out there, see what sticks,
Food for
have
thought.
a conversation about it, and maybe, you know, maybe you open these people's eyes to something
Exactly.
that they might not have seen before. And why not?
I don't have a
What's the
problem
harm
with
in that?
Right.
No, I
No,
don't have
right?
a problem with that.
None.
I think it's important. I think raising consciousness and just being a part of that is good. It's good for your own soul, let alone
It
anybody
is. Listen,
else's.
I'm not afraid of confrontation, and I think what happens with me is that I am a little rough around the edges. I come off kind of, standoffish, and I self-proclaim that, I don't really like a lot of people, where most people, they like everyone unless you give them a reason not to.
Right.
I kind of come from the other angle, which isn't a great quality, but that's the truth.
That's who you are.
That's just who I am.
Yeah.
My time is limited. My mind works in a little bit of a different way than other people, and I kind of feel that I don't really let people like penetrate in unless I kind of get a vibe that
I'm good.
makes me feel kind of you're worthy of me kind of getting there. Now, is that presumptuous of me?
No, I don't.
Be
See,
a
I don't.
little.
I think too, as you go through life and your life experiences, you tend to choose who you want in, and I don't think there's anything wrong.
No,
with
I hope
that.
not. And guess what? I don't care because
Exactly.
I feel. Listen, there's plenty of haters out there, plenty of people who don't like me, and that's okay. The ones who do, though, they know what they get with me. And at the end of the day, I'm an old-fashioned girl. I'm a good girl. I have a big heart. I would lay down for
Exactly.
anyone.
You're a Virgo.
But the criteria of who that anyone is, it's got to be a push-pull. And I have to know that these people are,
Well, I also feel that with social media, so many people, all different ages, especially looking at our youth, because we all have children.
Right.
They're looking at social media. Look at their lives. They're so happy there. Because most people are not going to put up on social media how unhappy they are.
Right.
Some people do, but it's very rare how unhappy they are. So when you find someone that's willing to say the honest parts, it actually gives people hope to reach out and say, hey, I feel that too.
I'm not alone.
Which is our purpose of
Right.
the show. Is saying, hey, this happens
and
to
I
us.
get that too. Listen, my blog is so broad. There's stuff that I'm just writing because in my little fantasy head, I think I'm the funniest thing ever sometimes, and I just want to laugh, and I want
Right.
other people to laugh too. Other times, I am sobbing while I'm writing because some of it is
It hurts.
really. It's sensitive, and I
Right.
think that's the range that I bring to the table.
Right.
Again, I don't live in one
Dimension.
lane, and I appreciate that about myself.
Me too.
And when people come back and say, you know what, I can't stand my kids either, or oh my God, I can't believe you got divorced and you had so much courage and I wish I could do it. Or
Exactly.
down the road 6 months later, someone saying, you know what, I did it because I read your blog and you gave me a little bit of, that push I needed.
But I think that's the
Yes.
whole thing. When you write or when we talk, the whole idea is to give that mindset that you're not alone.
Right.
And if my word or your word can push somebody to the next level, be it save a marriage, leave a marriage, have a kid, decide not to have it,
Right.
whatever it is, that was
comforting.
something that we gave you to work with.
Right.
Oh, yes, but to that point, I also want to add,
But there's a
well, I was
responsibility.
just going to say, there is a responsibility, okay, but at the same time, you only take on the responsibility that you want to take on.
Exactly.
And I'm doing this for my pleasure,
Right.
my leisure. This is my side hustle. This
Right.
is what I
Hobby.
do. It's my
Right.
passion.
Right.
It's really more than a hobby because I love it and I get off
Right.
on it and it makes me feel great. But when then there's people who are going to criticize, listen, there's always going to be
Of
people who are
course.
gonna say-
Please.
and
Of course.
I don't care per se because say what you want. But that responsibility, I feel like I don't have a responsibility to make you like me
or make you feel good about you.
one way or the other about
Right.
me. You take what I write, you read it, and you do what you will with
Right,
it.
right.
And there's a lot of people who will write into me and say, you hide behind a computer screen or blah blah blah, and hide behind
No.
a computer screen. Are you crazy?
I got a
I
life.
love it. I love
No,
it.
but it's true.
love
I
it.
mean, if we had $1 for every time somebody said
Oh,
something about,
yeah.
there was this one woman, and like out of nowhere, puts like an angry icon on us, and I was like, what are you angry about? Like,
A lot of times, I think the people who not disagree because I think we're all entitled to have our own
of
opinions, and I
course.
love that,
Right.
and I'm into that.
Back
struggle.
your shit up.
I want to kind of go toe to toe. So bring it,
Right.
bring it on, but like
But-
bring it. Don't
But
just like be elusive.
right, and don't kind of flail around
Pussyfoot-
a little.
pussyfoot around.
Exactly.
Right.
Just call it like you see it, and the thing about me too, and I have to say, at least I feel about myself. If I'm wrong,
I'll say
I have no problem
Admitting
saying I'm
it,
wrong.
right.
I mean, it might sting a little bit, but I feel like we all learn something from it. And there's plenty of articles I've written where epic fail is on me, and I have royally screwed up.
Eaten crow.
Yeah, I mean,
Yeah,
100%.
it's hard to
I
do
will
that,
say
but
it.
yeah.
It doesn't feel good.
No,
Right.
never
But
does.
then when you write it, and now you're publicly saying, you know what, I totally fucked up.
Right.
Yeah.
Then you
It's
can
good.
kind of wash your hands with it and say, you know what, I'm not perfect,
But I
and
think
I'm not.
No,
the whole thing
right.
is the honesty portion. When you're honest, you don't have to. You know, if you honestly made a mistake, or you honestly misread something, or you honestly did not know, it's so much easier than to like no,
To
but
backpedal.
no, but
Yeah,
no, I
well,
don't
when
want
you
to
tell
like,
the truth, you don't have to
exactly.
remember what you said.
Exactly.
Right?
And honesty.
Well, and
really
you're not
is.
dictating also, like you said. This is your feelings that you're getting out there. Something
Yeah.
you experience that you're passionate
Right.
about, and you
These
want
are
to
not
say,
facts.
hey, this is the way I
No, but
feel.
do-
This
don't,
is what I
wouldn't
think.
say. I would not call it not facts. I think because a lot of what you write is factual. I think it's a broad fact. I wouldn't say it was not factual because
Well, I'm not making it up.
right, exactly.
No,
That's what I
no,
mean.
yeah.
I say not factual. I'm
not-
not
yeah.
looking it up in, I'm
No.
not looking to Google and, fact checking. And I'm also not, asking people for references.
Right.
This
Let's
is all
just say it's
coming from
based
me
on
inside.
based on actual events.
Right? Based on actual, like, it's like a,
like the movies when they
SUV,
posted in the-
SVU.
These are not actresses.
Exactly.
These are real
people that we have to deal with. Eric wants to know what gives you your inspiration, Irma Bombeck. Does Irma Bombeck give you your inspiration?
Eric, you give me my inspiration.
There you go.
Okay, even though he's probably so angry at me that I don't have the right lipstick on.
Oh, please. If he,
Right.
he
Another
wants to-
Eric fan over
Another
here.
Eric.
I
Like,
know,
what's
Eric.
going
We
on?
love Eric.
It is about 765 degrees Fahrenheit in here.
I know, I'm dying. I mean,
I just want you to know we could wring out my bra.
Yeah.
I am not kidding. I lost another pound. I'm
Cater
very happy.
Fisher
We'll be
says
up to
most
19.
people are dishonest, and I love you, Rach.
I love you too, Bori. I love you
so
too.
I have to agree with that statement. There's a lot of dishonest people, but I think it's more so because they're afraid.
Well, they
of
are. I think
letting
we
it
live in a world,
out.
and I don't want this to come off as negative, because I think for the most part we have such a beautiful world. I think that most people don't capitalize on it.
Oh.
They're so used to being negative and being naysayers about whatever it is. Whether we're not even going down the political
No,
route
let's
right
not.
now,
We
but
don't.
whether it's that or whether it's friends or family or jobs or
No, but I-
what we look like, everyone is so
So
quick
to
to be negative and
judge,
criticize.
yeah.
And I'm not excluding myself.
No, I know that.
I do it about myself too. Instead of just embracing whatever it is, I don't know if we're trained that way or programs or society does it.
I think a lot has to do with societal
But-
pressure, because to be
Yeah.
to reach the pinnacle of your life, be it your marriage or your child, like your kid can't have a B+ average anymore.
Okay,
Kid
I
has
just want
to
to
be
say
like-
one thing
Everybody
back to that,
fits
though.
in
Back
this
to what
one
you said
box.
about responsibility. That's something that I do feel we have a responsibility to do, to try to make sure that the work we're spreading, whether it's in words, whether it's in writing, whether it's the work you
Right.
do in your
In
real
my life.
jobs outside of your side hustle, to do the best we can to show people or to use ourselves as an example that we can only do the best we can,
Right.
and that's good enough.
Right.
Right?
But I think, particularly in the town that we reside, I think that you have to be very cognizant about what you share and who you share it with.
Well,
Like-
that's because people are dishonest.
Because if I say
Right.
to you, or you, how many times, I'm like, I want to kill my husband today. I really, right away, if it was somebody else,
Oh, it'd be
like,
all
oh,
over.
they're having trouble.
Take
they're
a
having
billboard
trouble,
out on 95,
Or I'm
right.
like, he got a B+ in blah, blah, blah. And I'm really happy. And then you hear oh my God, he's never going to get into any
Right.
college. I'm like,
Yeah, it's
really?
ridiculous.
Like, if
I
your
know.
kid is not the top of the class, or if your husband and you are not, in love
Ken and Barbie.
24, Ken and Barbie with no anatomical parts, you are not worthy. And this town is rough for that. This is a rough
okay,
town
but I
for
think
that.
that all circles back to how we feel about ourselves.
Agreed.
Because I think that it's not realistic to say, don't talk to anyone about what's going
No,
on in
no,
your life.
no.
But I think the answer, and I don't know that I have all the answers, but I think the first step, if you will, is to say whatever their response is, it really doesn't matter, because I'm really just saying it to just
Get
we're
it
shooting
out.
the shit.
Right.
We're having a conversation. I know that if my kid gets a B+, so freaking what?
Yeah, no,
Right?
I know
Doesn't
that.
matter. No, I know you know that, but I'm just saying. I'm saying to the masses,
Yes.
other people were concerned about
But
that.
I think
Worried
other
about this
people
town.
capitalize on what they perceive is less than to make themselves
Of
feel
course
better.
they do.
That's
well,
the
that's
bottom
why
line.
people who may not like your show or may not like my blog, whatever their distaste is towards it is, I think, the distaste they have towards themselves. I think. I mean, I'm not a psychologist.
No, I agree
I
too.
play one on TV.
Me too.
But that's what I think, and I think it's pretty.
But also,
basic.
misery loves company, and if you notice, if people do post something that is unfortunate,
Okay.
they get a lot of attention.
Well, we just
I
discussed
notice
that
if
off
I
air.
post
That
something,
I was
it'll
posting all this.
it'll explode.
Right. Do you know that I was posting all those like memes about like love and relationships and stuff. So I got like 45 messages. Is everything okay? Is everything okay with your husband? I'm like, this is Facebook. Do you think I don't wash my dirty laundry on Facebook? Like stuff like that? It's ridiculous.
People do. People
Yeah.
do. They're
I don't-
just attention
but that's-
suckers
Well, yeah.
and grabbers.
Attention whores. That's what
and
I would say.
they want. I will tell you what they don't want. They don't want to
Fix it.
encourage and capitalize and enjoy other people's successes, and that's the type of stuff that I call out too, and then
Yes.
I become the villain
I think-
when I'm just saying what everyone else kind of thinks. How about rewarding the people that are really doing beautiful work?
Exactly.
Yes.
Or things in their lives are perfect. Well, perfect is a strong
I
word,
know,
but
Going well.
going well.
and
Right.
that they want to share it.
But that's
and-
the whole thing. That is the exact thing. People don't realize there's enough sunshine for everybody. Everybody has their moment
Well, and
in
everyone
the sun,
has ups
and
and
everybody has
downs.
their moment in the shade.
One day you could be great.
You
the
don't have
next
to
day
throw
something
shade.
could happen.
You know what I mean? I
Right.
just think it
It's life.
it is light. I think because of, and it's not just where we live. I think it's universal. People find it. I remember when I first moved here, and I had made friends with a person. This is going back 17 years ago, and I had said to her, I said, "You're my friend." I said, if I'm doing good, I want double for you. And she goes, "Oh, let's not get carried away." And I was like, no, like I really feel like that. If I'm doing good, I'd like to see you do
Most
just
people
carried
aren't like
away,
that.
yeah.
They're
blew
just
me
not.
away.
They
That
aren't.
it just
No.
blew me away that she would say, "Let's not get carried away." Like, so I said to myself, "Well, this is not somebody that I want to be friends with. If
No.
they don't want to see me do well,"
Bye-bye.
and that was the end of it.
Yeah.
But okay, so
That's-
to that point, let's say I took that little bit
Snippet.
and then I wrote an article about people just, they're your friends, but they don't really rally around you, and they kind of don't bask in your success,
Right.
and they have that competitive edge
Right.
in nature and whatnot. And now I'm gonna kind of talk about that generally speaking. Those are the people who would then say, "Oh my God, how could you say that?" Well, I don't even know if she's saying that this person would say
Right.
she's talking about me. I think they're so in their own head that
tunnel
they
vision,
think
yeah.
that they're the greatest friend in the whole world, and how could you ever this that?
Mm-hmm.
And in the meantime, they are the ones that you're necessarily.
But I'm saying
talking
being
about.
honest
Right.
with your friend is very different than being catty with your
Let
friend.
me tell you something. I've gotten into a lot of trouble for being honest with my
Me
friends.
too.
And
Me too. I
You're
mean,
brutal.
haven't talked for like a year because of a comment that I said that was honest.
Well, I made a comment recently not recently, this goes back a little bit, but I was pissed about something. And I feel that if someone really is your friend, you should be able to say whatever you want.
Get it
carte
out.
blanche,
Let's resolve
and
it.
let's resolve
Done.
it,
Right.
okay? I have had a few friends that I have had rip roaring, down to, proverbially ripping the hair out of you. And the best thing that ever could have come out from that was the fact that we were honest with each other,
Right.
brutally honest.
Right.
Versus
Okay?
holding it
and
in
that
and
I feel like
stewing,
that's a
right.
real friend.
Yes.
Okay,
Right.
it gets so ugly
Absolutely.
before it gets better. I've had other friends where I felt as though they were close enough friends that I could get pretty brutal, and my mouth, let's call it what it is. I mean, I'll just spit it out there and say it, and I will say my delivery is not always as
With hearts and flowers,
elegant
or a breath
as
of
it can be. I will
Mine
say that.
either.
But the response I got was how unbelievably appalled they were at how I spoke, and if we're friends this, and how could you? And I said, if we're friends this, and how could I that?
They
Because
know you
friends-
well enough.
Because
Friends
friends
tell
tell
you.
the real deal,
Right.
And they know you well
and I'm going
enough.
to say it to your face,
Right.
and not behind your back. Okay,
I always
everyone
say
else
that.
is so phony and dishonest. They'll say it 6 times to next Tuesday to
Right.
somebody else. I'm willing to say it to your face and get it out
But
there.
I think
that
But
that's
people
important.
Can't, they
No, they
just
can't
they can't
handle
handle
it.
And and then things, they either fall by the wayside or slowly but surely they mend. Or really what happens, I think, for most of us is you just learn who people's true colors are, and you have to take it with
especially
the grain
when
of
you're
salt.
down.
And,
they like
when
to
you're
take
down.
care.
well,
Yes, when
people
you're
let me
down.
down all the time. I mean,
Yes.
I'm learning, and this, I think, is a life lesson that I've been trying to learn for so many years now. The older we get, the more we think that everyone is growing and evolving along with you.
Not necessarily.
And has nothing to do with chronological age.
Darwinism
okay?
doesn't
Well, what I've
always work.
learned
No, and
over
I've
the
been
years
disappointed
is you
tremendously.
categorize people as you get older. Like this category is friends that I only go out with, have drinks with, have fun with. I don't expect anything more from them. They're not the person I'm going to call up and cry
Well,
on their
I'm
shoulder.
learning that because
So you
this
have to
tough
have
girl
category.
really
This is my
is-
work friend. That's all this person's good for. And you
It's
really
hard,
do
though.
have to categorize
I think it's hard
people.
when you, again, my range is so broad,
Right.
and if I'm gonna give, I really don't. I don't kind of pick and choose. Once I decide you're in and I'm gonna give,
And that's it.
It's all
you're
in.
in with
Right,
me.
right.
And then
The
if people
circle of
start
trust.
letting
Exactly.
you down, that's a disappointment.
No, it
So
is.
You have to keep, you got to pick yourself up, dust yourself. Listen, being divorced now, that's a whole nother.
That
set of
was my next
disappointment.
question.
With how friends,
How hard was that? Like dealing with,
divorce your
like if
friends.
I have a fight with my husband, I can't only tell certain people, because then they're like, "What are you gonna do?"
Well, they don't
You know?
forget, like
Yeah.
your mother.
Oh, yeah.
Well, I
No,
mean,
like you have to be on the down low if you're like aggravated with your mate. So how was that with your whole situation?
The whole down low thing with the divorce, I didn't really have that issue. I was pretty private about it.
Okay, cool.
I do wear my heart on my sleeve. My ex-husband, he wore his heart on his sleeve.
Well, when you
so,
have children
and
involved,
with
too.
kids,
Yeah.
we
That's what I'm
really tried to. I think.
And your kids were young,
My
right?
kids are little. I mean, my kids are 10 and 12 now, so they were. It's only been a couple years.
Right.
And it was awful. I don't wish it on anyone, nobody. But I do feel that trying to be as respectful and amicable in a shitty situation is really the best call. And, we still go through all of our ups and downs and whatnot. My issue now is really the aftermath, because it's not so much about going through I had a lot of support, and my friends all knew that this was probably the right move for me, and no one really tells me what to do. I kind of
Right.
knew what I needed the courage to kind
To
of
do it.
Right.
to do it. So my friends that wasn't really what I needed or didn't need. But then thereafter, now I'm a single mom. I'm trying to do this thing on my own for the most part, and where is everyone? Right?
Yes.
People. That's another thing. People are a
Terrible.
little dishonest with how much they want to pitch in, or how much they, people, it's an eye-opener for them. It's uncomfortable for people to look at someone who's going through an uncomfortable situation, because it kind
They're
of
also
spurs up,
intimidated too,
maybe.
because now she's single. Ooh.
Well, yeah, maybe.
That's
Oh,
another.
I think big.
It's a
Oh,
big
yeah.
factor.
I
It's a
think.
big
I think
factor.
the dynamics of a lot of my friendships have changed a lot.
Since you're single?
Yeah, I just wrote an article for, it's not published yet, but I was asked to write a piece for a local girl in town who's working on some type of divorce anthology, if you will. And it was about divorce. And I do want to mention, I try so hard not to define myself as a woman who's divorced, because that's so narrow.
Oh, I
also.
agree.
Yes, I'm
Absolutely.
divorced.
But-
I'm newly divorced. But that's so not who I am. And I feel like that stigma is still on my shoulder, and I hate it. So I'm doing everything I can to try to
avoid that.
ignore it and work around it. But I do feel that is kind of what my title is now a little bit. It's fine, and it is what it is. But so I was asked to write a piece, and the piece was pretty much anything goes. You want to write about how your kids are handling it, or how you are now post-divorce with your ex-husband, or how your friends have fared, and so on and so forth. And I didn't want to write it, because I didn't want to sit down, and I had
Face
written
those
something
feelings.
on my blog when I first was public about the divorce, and I blood, sweat, and teared myself into writing the piece. And I don't think I could have written it better. I think it could not have been more authentic. So to now revisit it again from another angle, I kind of felt like it was a little redundant, but I did. And I really focused it more on friends and the aftermath and what happens, and to not get invited to certain
it's
affairs,
hurtful.
is really hurtful.
Yeah.
Really. When you're, you're married for over a decade, going on close to 13, 14 years, your friends at this, I grew up, it wasn't like my mother's friends or my father's friends.
Right.
Your friends are your friends.
Right.
And for people to draw a line in the sand, and I'll be honest, I mean, I kind of thought if anyone was going to draw a line in the sand, it would be on my
Your
side,
side.
okay? And then when it
course.
wasn't,
Right.
that
Yeah.
stings.
Shocker.
That hurts.
Yeah.
I'll survive, and life goes on, and what doesn't kill you makes you stronger, but that's painful.
It stings. It's like a
And,
bullet.
you know, and again, it's another thing when that's the other thing I feel like I do that maybe other people don't. I didn't let it go. I told those people.
Good.
I
just
love
want
that.
you to know, like,
Gotta-
I
When you
get
get
it,
upset,
kind
don't I
of.
say, did you call them out on it?
Oh,
Because
yeah.
you
Yeah,
gotta
but I
let it
call
out.
people
You
out
gotta
on
let it
things.
No,
out.
and I
all
don't
the
have.
time.
I don't think that that's
Gotta
a
have that
bad thing.
But
closure.
people don't.
No,
and
it's
what
a
instead of
closure.
calling people, so you don't have to call people out and be
Mean,
contentious,
right?
mean,
Of
or
course,
confronting,
no.
but you
But-
can say it. Listen, this is coming from a place of
Right.
love, and you really
Hurt
hurt my
my
feelings.
feelings,
How
yeah.
could you? I mean, or why do? And that's where people don't kind of come full circle. They toe the line, and they kind of
But what do we
dance
tell our
around
kids
it.
when they get into fights with people? Tell them,
right.
you hurt my feelings, and this is. But as adults, we don't do that. It's like
Well,
we
kids
throw
learn
that.
by example, I think.
Right.
Oh,
My
yeah.
kids, I kind of feel, you know, whether I'm doing it right or doing it wrong, or there's a lot of cursing in between,
Yeah.
they speak up.
No,
So
and
let me
they-
ask you a question about that, because Amy and I have had issues with our children about the show,
Yeah.
Okay.
where they get upset about
If
certain
we
things
mention
said, if
them.
we mention them in any
Okay.
way, or our home lives, or anything like that. So what about you with
Well,
your children, with your blog?
I appreciate that you have that issue too, because I do also.
Okay.
And when I was married, it was an issue.
Mm-hmm.
And my husband, ex-husband, did not want me writing about certain things.
Really?
Even, you know, his parents, there were certain times that they would kind of come down on me, and
it's a
and
slippery
sometimes
slope.
it did get a little. If you write about this, and how is he
Contentious.
going to get into college, and all, and I was so taken aback. I mean, we live in a world where you can say and do
Do
anything
whatever you
now,
want,
to the
right.
point where I know what our kids are doing on social media. We have to protect
That,
them,
yes.
we don't want
Right.
that,
Right.
you know, tarnishing their
Right.
record or whatever. But for me to speak openly about, or you to speak, I feel like what I'm teaching my children is
it
to
so-
speak your mind and to be brave enough to say it. And if
I agree.
if
Amen.
something does happen going down a negative path, then you have to own it and recognize it and
Well, because
apologize
if their
for
friends
it.
come to them and say, "My mom said, your mom said
I know, and
on your
well,
blog
I will tell you,
or
we haven't
whatever,"
gotten to that yet because my kids really are.
They're
a
still
little bit
young.
Younger,
They're still young,
and
yeah.
I don't know what will
Well,
happen.
mine
Yeah.
came home and said to me, "Why did you say X about X?"
Uh-huh.
I said, "I didn't mention anybody's name."
Right. If he knew what
Right.
you were talking
And
about.
I said, I just told about a situation.
Right. My kids
Right.
will say to me, "Mom, you better not put that on your blog," or "Mom, you're not going to talk about
Right.
that, are you?" Or and
Yes.
it depends on what it is. If you know, first of all, I make the rules. They
Exactly.
don't make
Right,
the rules.
exactly.
And that's another thing in
Amen.
today's world. I feel like half of the kids around here.
I don't need a
they are telling their
13-year-old
parents
friend, yeah.
what the rules are.
Like, I'm
I don't
the
operate
adult.
like that.
No.
And I
Same,
say to my
same.
kids all the time, we are not friends.
No,
I
and
love
I
you
tell them
death,
to, I would
but
never
we'll
hang
be
out with a
friends
15-year-old friend.
When
right.
you're older, I'm in charge and we're going to do it my way. And if you don't like it, well, there's the door.
Yeah.
My famous
Yeah.
line is, when
There's
you
the door.
sign the check,
Yeah.
then you can make a decision
Right.
or have input. Until that time, I said, this is Schreibenland. There are no rights here. You have no
Now,
rights.
if my kids say, "Mom, I really don't want you to," I mean, I'm
No,
not
that's
gonna
of course.
that.
No. I
Everything's
you
up for
respectful.
negotiation.
But at the end of the
right.
day,
Right.
it's my
We're
ultimate
making the
decision.
decision.
Yes.
Right.
You
Yes.
know.
And I do think down the road, when my kids are old enough where, now, they certainly know how to,
Sure.
navigate around the internet. If they pulled stuff up and read it, some of the stuff is completely inappropriate, and I probably would be a little bit embarrassed.
Oh, I
Half
hope
of it would
so.
maybe go over their
Right.
head.
Right.
The other stuff, I have to tell you, if they ever sat down and read it, I feel like they'd be proud
Proud
of
of,
me.
exactly.
Because I am writing from my heart. This is not bullshit.
Right.
And I think that, look, no one knows me as well. These are my boys.
Exactly.
So if they have questions or comments or concerns, I welcome that. I say it all the time.
Well, they'll say to me,
You want them
"Mom,
to talk
why
to
did
you,
you
of
say,
course."
why did you talk about your vagina?" Or,
Right.
and I'm like, dude, I'm not dealing with
facts of
13-year-old
life.
boys or
Yeah.
15-year-old
Right.
boys. I said, I'm dealing with people in my demographic who really want to understand what's going on with their vagina. And then, they'll shake their head. I said, as you get older, you'll understand. But, at the end of the day, you have to be respectful. And you were very respectful of your son when he, like my son is in their beginning video, a promo video. And I'm like, you're going to be in it. I said, are you cool with that? He's like, oh, no, I'm all right. I'm all right with that.
Listen, I would, up to this point, when I write, when your kids are little, they're in your bubble.
Absolutely.
So you're, little kids, little problems, big
kids,
bigger
big problems.
My kids now are their own entity. They have their own opinions.
Yeah, they're real people.
And now, if I were to write about them now, I feel like I might be violating a little bit of what goes on. I mean, they're prepubescent kids and going through changes and whatnot. I don't know where that line is.
No.
And I've been, so far, kind of dancing around it, because I do think that there's so much more envelope to push. I don't want to piss them off, though.
No,
they're bigger than I am.
I
I mean, they tower over me now, so I don't want to
know that feeling.
me.
No, I know.
But I do think that if there was a safe forum, I'll tell you, a couple years ago, I was out with a bunch of friends, and we cracked up. I came up with this idea that I don't have girls, okay? I would die if I had girls. I mean, God bless any of the parents out there that are raising girls in this town or anywhere for that matter.
Hats off to you, Lori.
And I said, wouldn't it be cool if, I'm a mom of 2 boys, and I'm kind of cool, I, let them kind of, curse and, we put it out there. Wouldn't it be cool if we had like a forum where all the girls needed like a big sister or like a cool aunt?
I would love that.
Okay, where they could come and I'm like their mom's friends, but like it's private, HIPAA, whatever, and I am like their confidant, and they can tell me stuff that's going on, whether it's drugs or whether it's sex or whether it's, they're female, whatever it is. And we could shoot the shit, but really do it in a way where like we're getting down and dirty.
Exactly.
And we can be as R/X-rated as we need to be to make these girls feel more comfortable.
But I love that because my girlfriends who have girls, their kids call me. They'll text me, like, oh my God, I'm having sex with so-and-so. What do I do?
Right, you're a safe kind of person for them, right?
But again, you got to dance the issue, because when it gets unsafe, or if it gets a little hairy, do you tell the parent?
Mom or,
I don't know, because we never created it. But I was open to it, and I said, anyone wants to come knock on my door, I'm willing to get down and dirty and help answer your questions.
Because I think a lot of people don't. I was fortunate. I had a spot-on relationship with my mother. Like, everything. I told her the first time a guy took my hand and put it in his pants, and I was appalled. I woke her up in the middle of the night. I'm like, he put it in my hand. She goes, wash your hands, go to bed. We'll talk about it in the morning. That's the kind of relationship we had.
That's great.
So, and she goes, you think that's going to be the first time? I'm like, Ma. She's like, what do you want me to do? You're 21 years old. You want me to punish you? I said, well, what do I do? She goes, wash your hands and call it a day. But a lot of girls don't have that with their mother.
No.
There's such this secretive.
I didn't have that. I had a very nice relationship with my mom, but I honestly, my memory is definitely spotty now as I get older. I definitely have selective memory. I have a little bit of senior moments. I don't know where I left my glasses, but I don't remember having those type of conversations. I just don't.
I was lucky. But again,
I don't know if my mom is watching. I don't know if she knows how to like log into Facebook, but maybe if she is, she can
I
tell
don't
me
know. I don't know if it's because I had 3 sisters and they were only girls in the house. But she made it a very cool environment. So I was blessed for that.
Yes.
But there were a lot of girls.
But guess what? In today's world, though, there's so much more.
There's like that undertow
going on.
I mean,
there's like a lot. My kids, again, they're boys, but my son's in 6th grade, and he'll say to me, Mom, we're not allowed in the 8th grade bathroom because they're like vaping in there or whatever. And I'm like, hey, how do you even know what that word means? Right. And oh my God, like we need to talk about that.
I met with friends today they have daughters and sons. One girl has just daughters, one girl has a son and a daughter. Her son and this girl's daughter in 8th grade. And they were talking about some of the girls in that 8th grade class doing stuff that I did not do until I was in my 20s.
First of all, have you seen what these 8th grade girls look like?
27.
Okay. I'm now planning a bar mitzvah, okay? So
good luck with that.
I said, so we're not going to have like, the Miami Heat dancers. Because like we're not spending $8 quadrillion on a bar mitzvah.
I didn't do
but
that.
in today's world, I'm like, what should I have? Like strippers from Miami,
exactly.
The pole come to teach what these girls look like, they're half naked.
They are look like strippers on the pole.
They're wearing Bear Leger dresses and Christian
But my question is, why is your mother letting you out like
I don't
that?
know.
Right, that's what I'm saying.
These girls, I'm telling you, I'm the first one to be like, damn, that girl. And I'm like, oh my God, that girl's 13.
Yeah.
Like, what is going on here?
Scary.
I had a full face of pimples. Okay, braces.
Blake, you're
red
laughing,
hair.
but you could meet one of these
You
girls
could be
in a bar.
in trouble,
Yeah.
And
Blake.
be like statutory rape.
But am I wrong? I'm not
Then
embellishing.
maybe putting the
These girls
sign,
were
pedophile,
like-
in front of your door.
That's
mean, how do you
not
prove
how
it? You don't
was
prove
when
it.
we were. The
No.
biggest thing when I was growing
No.
up that was like fancy
The
for your
training
look
bra.
was if you were being bar mitzvahed or having your communion or whatever, you were allowed to have your braces taken off for the weekend. That was like to look glamorous.
I was blessed.
Me,
with
I was
straight
like
teeth.
sneaking
But
out.
Those
No.
are your teeth.
These
You didn't have
clothes.
All
beautiful.
of them. I know.
You know,
it's
packing
the
a
Italian
bag,
thing. But
changing
no,
in the
seriously,
car.
when we had our communion, like we wanted to wear a little like heel. Do you think Jesus would approve of that? Now I'm Jewish, so there's your answer. You know,
Right.
But I mean, like it was so different.
Yeah.
And I think it's like you say, the trend is to be your child's friend. I do not want to be your friend.
I mean, I say all the time,
don't
my
care if
motto,
you're very
and
much.
this even goes for men that I want to date too. Nerds rule the world.
Love a
okay.
nerd. I
The
love a
nerdier,
nerd,
the
I gotta
better.
tell you.
And yeah, I mean, looks, you have to be a little bit attracted, but your mind is
Oh,
will get
yeah.
made.
But that's
Definitely.
what it's all about.
I want my
Definitely.
kids. I mean, the nerdier they are,
Dude,
we're
seriously,
right on
you
track.
ever meet a beautiful woman or a beautiful man, and the more they talk, the uglier
Yes,
they
all
get.
the time.
And then you meet a
Look,
guy
Have
with
you
like
looked in
thing
this
to go out the
town,
window.
Amy?
you meet a guy with one eye and half the head of hair, and you're like, I really want to marry you
Yeah.
and have sex with you right now on this table.
And that's it.
It's the truth.
And then
I
don't call
know.
me again.
Like you're
Lose
excluded
my
because
number.
you're the total package. Blake is so cute and he's
And Blake,
smart.
you're like 11 though, right? I mean, you're really young. You're very
Actually
cute.
not. I told him 5 more years, and then that's it.
And what?
He's mom
Mrs.
marrying
Robinson
him. I'm leaving.
out.
I'm leaving. No, we're going down
Mrs.
the aisle.
Robinson over here.
I can't give you kids, but that's a good thing.
They're overrated anyway, not for anything.
You appreciate that later.
It's the best thing that will ruin your life. I'm just saying, just throwing that out there. It is though.
It is. It's a thankless job. I mean, I
Yes.
know you guys were talking about Mother's Day before, so happy Mother's Day.
Yes, same to you.
But Mother's Day, I have to tell you, I think it's
Every
a little bit
goddamn
of
day
a
should be
disappointment.
Mother's Day.
Well,
I
every
agree.
day it is
It's
Mother's
the pressure
Day.
of the whole thing every
It's a
year.
little disappointment. I mean, because you have, for me at least, I had to remind my kids, like, remember it's Mother's Day. Please be
Excuse
nice
me.
to me.
I had to threaten people. I'm like, you can go to Publix
And we
get a
don't
sandwich,
ever
get
get
me
to
a
do what we
card.
really want.
No.
Mother's
and
Day,
no
I'd like to
offense,
leave the
you know.
house
Like
alone.
Father's
I
Day.
drove it with, you're talking about the weather too. So it was pouring
Oh,
rain yesterday.
terrible.
I drove white knuckles up to West Palm Beach to be with my family, which again,
Right.
I have to celebrate my mother and,
Absolutely.
I want to, and I'm so grateful. But that kind of took a chunk out of my time. I really wanted to drive in a hurricane. Thank
Right.
you.
Yeah, exactly.
Yes, that's what on Mother's Day to boot, right? With my kids fighting in the car.
I agree.
And it's a lot of pressure. So back to Blake, you don't have to have kids. It's you'll be a stepdad.
Right.
You'll be a
That's Blake.
stepdad.
Blake's like, really?
Don't do it.
Have pets. They don't
Pets
talk.
and plants.
Unconditional love.
They love you forever. They never
Ever.
answer you back.
They're
And you
always
could
happy
lock
to
them in
see
a
you
closet
every time
for
you
3
walk in
days,
the
and they
door.
come out
See,
wagging.
I don't even
Hi,
like
so
animals
happy to see
either,
you.
which is not a great quality.
Say
I
it
know
again?
you're not going to like that about me.
What?
I'm not really an animal lover.
Let me tell you something.
I'm just.
Did you
I
have a bad
have-
experience? Did you grow up with pets?
I
No,
did.
listen to me.
Yeah, and
I
I
did
begged
too.
like every other kid, begged and sobbed, and I swear and
I am
do-
going to
but-
tell you how we got the dog. I am a very, very clean person. I did not want dog hairs or drool or piss or anything. But my neighbor ran a rescue, and she's like, come look at the dog. I'm like, no, thank you. Come look at the dog.
Yeah, you fall in
Then
love
I
when you
saw
see
the dog,
Yeah,
and
they put
they
the
were gonna
eyes on you.
break you.
Story was they were going to throw him on the highway.
This
and he
is
had
me
super.
playing the violin.
No, I got to
mean,
tell you something. I was a bitch, cold bitch. I'm like, no. So
You lost me.
I looked at him and I was like, all right, come to the house and see if you like the house.
See if you like the house.
So I
What
came-
dog is going to be
yeah.
like, nah, I don't like your house.
So, but he had a face like a human being, better than my kids. I really wanted to give the kids to the rescue. and just
Yeah.
take the dog.
Does the dog look like you now? Because
Oh my
that is
God.
something that I do think is cool.
Just
That pets look
so
like
he
their
does.
owners.
He looks at me with that little smile, and I love him more.
I know. I'm not
Every
into
day.
it.
I
I'm
wasn't
not in-
either.
Not into
Wasn't
it.
either. And then I hate the other dog. She's very cute, but I don't care for her very much. She's no.
All
I'm
right,
like that.
that's TMI.
Kids kind of underrated. Dogs
No, kids are overrated.
Or
Overrated.
overrated.
Overrated, very
It's the
overrated.
heat. The heat is getting
It's very
to me.
hot
I'm
in
like
here.
having
Yes.
like
The
heat
lights
stroke in
and
here.
everything. Blake's
Yeah.
in here. It gets very hot when we
It
have
is.
those.
Does anyone want to talk to us? Who
Yeah, does
is
anyone-
online? I have no eyesight.
Eric
I'm
says,
so
great
blind.
show.
The
Whitney
Whitney
Michaels,
Michaels.
loving
Oh, that's
this
my girl.
Rachel.
Hi,
Go
Whit.
girl.
Let's say happy birthday to Whitney. She's
Happy
having
birthday,
Happy
Whitney.
birthday.
Happy birthday, Whit.
Happy birthday. Well, I would like to let
Oh, I like what Eric said. Friends are God's way of apologizing for our
family.
family.
That's what we talk
That's
about
true.
all the
Friends
time.
are the family we choose.
Exactly.
Yes.
Right?
Yes.
So how do people, if people want to get in touch with you, how
So
do they
people
do?
want to get in touch with me, there's various ways. They
Go
can
ahead.
follow me on Facebook, either through just Rachel Silver Cohen or Silver Unpolished. There's a separate page. On my actual website, www.silverunpolished.com, on the upper right-hand column, there is a little tab that says Get Unpolished with Silver. You can click there, you can subscribe. It is idiot proof.
I love
You
it.
put your stuff in, you'll get an email as a confirmation. Anytime there is a new blog that comes up, if you're not on Facebook, because remember, I'm not a huge
Right.
Facebook
Yeah.
fan. I think it's all smoke and mirrors. So you can segue around that.
Except on my
and
page.
It will, right, except for my page, of course, and yours.
So what, do you get an
So
email
you'll get
then?
an alert that
Oh,
will
an
take
alert.
you
Okay.
right to, it'll say, there's a new post up on the blog,
Right.
click here, and it'll direct you that
Oh,
way.
okay.
You can follow me on Instagram too, at Silver Unpolished. The blogs I have found too, now since I am divorced and I am working full time, and of course this is my passion, but it doesn't pay the bills.
Exactly.
And I have to work to
Right.
keep life going. The blogs are a lot few and farther between.
Because you have
The
a life.
upshot of that, though, is that I feel like people miss it, and they'll write me
Exactly.
and say, "We miss you," and
What's going on?
and what's going
So
on.
is it
and will you
week?
post
Would you
something?
say it's weekly,
So, well, it
monthly?
used to be weekly.
Okay.
Now it's kind of, and again, there are no rules. I make up the rules.
Right.
There could be 2 in 1 week if I'm in that mode.
Mm-hmm.
There could be 1 a month. There could be
One every
you
6
know,
weeks. It
I
depends.
don't
So it's good to know.
I don't
So
know.
don't
But
give up.
But you get alerts.
Right.
You'll get alerts. Yep. And I do have something called Dear Silver Unpolished. We're kind of like a Dear Abby. You know, I always say like minus the manners. You can write into me and say, hey, would you address, and then, any of these kind of
I like that.
off-topic things that they wouldn't really, they don't know how to address, but I'll do it for them.
Right.
So if you come to me and say, hey,
Be
I'm
that
having
guy.
a problem,
Oh, we got to talk, honey.
then write to me. It's all anonymous. I'm more than happy to address it. And I love
love
that
it.
kind of stuff
Yeah.
because then I am.
If one person is saying to you, then there's a thousand.
Of course.
100%.
Right, yeah.
100%. So I'm happy. There are no topics that are off limits. I'll dabble in anything.
I can be your JJ consultant.
Yeah, no. I mean, we can talk about that all you
I'm
want.
Diva JJ expert.
Okay.
All right.
All
There
right.
you go. Well, we
Well,
want
thank
to
you for coming on.
Yeah, we
Thanks
thank
for
you
having
so
me.
much.
It's
It was a lot of fun.
I mean,
It was
I'm
a lot.
dripping.
It's
Yes,
I know.
I know.
Next
Let's
week,
go.
I just want to let you know we're having a sex person come on. Not going to have sex on the show, but she's going to talk about sexual things and how to have better sex. Her name is Natalie Hatches, and she's going to be joining us. She's a sex therapist and a hypnosis therapist. So it should be very, very interesting. Again, Rachel Silver Cohen at silverunpolished.com. On Facebook, Rachel Silver Cohen, and on Facebook, Silver Unpolished. We hope you enjoyed our show, and our lights just went out, and they are back on, and we will see.
Clap
Yes,
on.
we do. We clap on all the time, and we'll see you next week at 7:00 on Monday. Have a great weekend, and we'll talk to you guys soon.
Bye,
Bye,
everyone.
everybody.
Bye. Thanks for coming on.
Thanks.
Thanks, Mom.
Thank you for joining the Two Broads from Boca. You can see us live every Monday at 7 p.m. on Facebook. See you next week, and remember, keep it classy, sassy, and a little smartassy.